What's going on, everybody? We are back with another review video. We are obviously inside my Gladiator. I've had it for just over a year now, and we are going to look at some things that I enjoy about it, some things I really don't enjoy about it, and let's come up with a conclusion. If I could go back in time, would I buy another one? Let's roll the intro. Alright, quick disclaimer before we get into this video. I'm doing this review for a year in with the Gladiator based on being a normal consumer. So this is my everyday driver, my daily driver. This isn't getting into all the off-road capabilities of a Jeep or a Gladiator itself because I haven't taken it off-road. So I'm not going to get into those specific things that are really Jeep warranted. This is really having a Gladiator with some customization as your daily driver. What does that look like? What are the things that I like? What are the things that I dislike? If I get to a point where I'm taking this thing off-road, then I could do a review video more on that. There's plenty of awesome Jeep-related videos out there that will cover more of the off-road capabilities of the vehicle. Just wanted to put that in. We'll go with the rest of the video. All right, first thing I want to get into is the overall look, right? So it's technically a mid-size pickup truck. And before really the Gladiator come out, the main choice for looking at something that was customizable, was a mid-range, had some off-road ability, was really the Tacoma, right? The Tacoma was kind of in its own class. There was some trucks that were similar and trying to be as good as the Tacoma, but there was really nothing even close. So I was looking at a lot of Tacomas up until I heard that the Gladiator was coming out and was going to exist on the market. So I held out. I'm so glad I did. So the overall look of the mid-size, rugged pickup truck, not really focusing so much on towing, even though it had decent towing package, but really the overall rugged mid-size look is really what I was looking for. All right, first big dislike is the steering looseness. It's super loose. I get it's a pickup truck, but there's a lot of pickup trucks out there that are a lot tighter. It's terrible. Now, mind you, it was really terrible at the beginning for me because I came from this car, which obviously handled like a go-kart. Being in a Mini, it's like driving a go-kart around. So the steering on that was super tight, takes corners amazing. Going to this was understandably going to be looser, but when I swap back and forth between like other SUVs and trucks, it's way more loose than everything else I drive. So I wish they would have been able to tighten that up a bit. All right, next massive like for me was the customization. I like to make my vehicles different. I like to add my personal touches or things that I like that I think would look good with the vehicle. So Jeep being one of the largest brands for customizing your vehicle's look, what kind of parts, things like that. So being able to put rugged kind of skid running boards on it, you know, different front and rear bumpers, having a soft top versus a hard top or a half and half, roof racks, tonneau covers, lift kits. The choices inside of the Jeep realm are massive. There's full companies, there's small fabrication shops that make specific Jeep overlanding, rugged, off-road type of materials that are customized just for JLs, JTs, JKs. So that was a huge plus for me, having all of those avenues to look at things and make the Jeep or the Gladiator what I want it to look like. All right, next major dislike for me is fuel mileage. I get it. Trucks don't have great fuel mileage. Shouldn't have lift kit and 37s if you're worried about fuel mileage. But just to be fair to the Jeep in its stock form, with the stock 33s, I believe that came off the lot, and the lift kit that was off the lot, I was getting anywhere from 19 to 20 around town, and then on the highway up to as much as 22. Once I put the 37s on, I'm averaging around 15, maybe 15 and a half in town. I might get up to 16 and a half, 17 on the highway, which isn't awful, but I did come from the Mini, which was getting way more than that. So it's still like a bone of contention for me, but it is a truck, and that's what you kind of get when you buy a pickup truck. You're not looking at fuel mileage. Just another point, range with a full tank of gas. I'm getting about 330 miles for a full tank. Roughly, obviously that changes on the way you drive, but I'm a pretty conservative driver. So it's 15 miles a gallon isn't great in my eyes, but I get it. Another huge plus for me is inside of the dash, on the screen under apps. You have tons of things. We're in the off-road pages right now. You can see there's tons of good information here. Gives you stuff about everything about the vehicle as you're driving, the pitch and roll, elevation, all that good stuff. And then if you go back to the main, you have your seats. Everything is just really well organized. It's not confusing. You know, you can slide through here. You have your backup camera, your seats, your heated steering wheel, obviously climate control. All the buttons are big. It doesn't seem cumbersome. It doesn't seem over elaborate, but you don't get lost easily. Where some of the in some of the technology screens inside some of the vehicles, I think, are a bit too confusing and they try to do too much. But it's pretty easy. It's easy to navigate. I've never had a Jeep Dodge before this one, so the navigation system was new to me, but it was very easy to understand and work through. All right, next dislike, we're gonna stick with storage here, but this is in the front. So besides the pockets, you know, on the right and left, we have a netting here. This is my sun visor, which you also have on the other side. Besides that, you know, you have the cup holders, you have the center compartment here, and you have the glove box, which is actually kind of tiny. I got one of these tiny little storage. There's a little kind of cup that sits in there that you can like store cell phones and stuff in, but the passenger doesn't have a whole lot of room to put things because there's not a lot of room up here. You have a couple pockets here, but there's it's pretty tight inside the because the truck is pretty narrow. It doesn't have a lot of width. It's a bit of an issue. Okay, we're in the back here. Another huge like for me is all the storage in the back. They have all these kind of compartments where you can put different things. Like here I have my my air pressure kit and then the Jeep toolkit. The netting here, you have a mole system on the back of the seats where you can attach maybe a first aid kit or anything inside of a pouch. They have these compartments. One's a long one, one's a short one, and these are lockable. And pretty sure they're all plastic, so they could even be waterproof as well. And they seem to seal really well. So if you have your top off the Jeep, you can lock things in there. Just a big fan of all these compartments here to put your door bolts. There's for the tire. And you have another, you know, mole system over here with the netting. You have another netting on that door. And then what's nice is if you pull down the seats, you know, you even have tiny compartments behind the seats, and there's one on the other side as well. And there's a tiny little shelf there where you can put stuff if it fits behind the seat. But just a bunch of nice compartments that you don't really see right out of the gate that I think is it's helpful because it is a mid-sized truck and there's not a whole lot of internal storage, but in the back they did as much as they could to fit tiny pockets of storage all over the place, which I very much appreciate. All right, next major dislike, not providing these rubber mats. The Jeep came with cloth mats, which I think is an awful idea. These I got on Amazon for about 60 bucks. They have this one, they have the passenger side, and then they have a full one in the back, which I'll show you as well. And they even have these little plugs where you can pull up the plug to drain water. What Jeep doesn't come with rubber mats? It's made to go off-road, get muddy and all that stuff, and cloth mats are atrocious for that, for getting dirty and keeping them clean. So you can see the back one goes all the way across, has a nice flap that goes over the middle part there. But 60 bucks on Amazon. They have the Jeep, they have like kind of a topography design on them, which are nice, but I don't know why they wouldn't provide though. I thought that was pretty poor. All right, my next major positive for the Jeep Gladiator is the towing capacity. 7,500 pounds for a mid-sized truck. It's pretty decent. I've been able to use it quite a bit. The one thing I dislike with the towing package in general, which will slide right into that, is it never came with a trailer braking system. So you'd have to put that in aftermarket. It looks like, from what I've seen online, it's a plug and play underneath the driver's side dash, but it didn't come with that. And I don't think the Overland version has it either, and the Overland version is kind of the best for towing of the Gladiator series. So the Rubicon's a little bit less than the Overland, mostly because of the lift kit that comes stock off the lot. But I am impressed with the towing ability for a mid-sized pickup truck. All right, so that's covering most of my major likes and dislikes with the truck. Overall, I really like it. I've really enjoyed driving it for the past year, which is why I almost put, what am I, almost 14,000 miles in 1 year. Even over long distances, and long distances for me were probably, 3, maybe 4 hours. It's not terrible. It's not terrible on the highway, even with the lift kit and the 37s. It drives nice. It drives better than a Jeep. Some of the JLs, you get a lot of the bobbing and bouncing around because it's an elongated frame. Like most pickup trucks, it rides good. It rides good on the highway. Would I buy another one at this moment? I'd probably hold off to see how the diesels work out, because I know they're coming out with the diesel engine edition pretty soon. I think it's in 2021. You're losing a little bit of towing capacity from what I'm reading with the diesel, but obviously you're gaining torque, you're gaining fuel efficiency. Usually diesel engines last longer as well, right? You have they kind of get better with age. I believe they're putting a smaller Cummins in the Gladiator. So I think at this point in time, if I had to buy this right now, like I did last year around the middle of October, I would hold off, see how the diesel engines, the diesel Gladiators work out, and then I'd kind of make my decision. But I'd probably still go with the Gladiator in some form or fashion, because I enjoy all the things I've talked about today. Minor things that are annoyances, but nothing that's terrible. One other note I did want to make is they have the Jeep Wave program if you buy a new one, where you get, I think it's 5 free oil changes, 5 free tire rotations. Most vehicle providers are doing that nowadays, but it's my first new vehicle I bought, so I'm appreciating it a lot. When I go to get an inspection or oil change or tire rotation, I only have to pay for the inspection, where the oil change and the tire rotation are taken care of for at least the first couple of years, which is pretty great. Sirius XM for the first year for free as well was great. That the subscription just ended, so that was enjoyable. I already had it on my phone, so that wasn't a big deal. Just a couple other things. Usually those things are about 3 or 6 months, but with Jeep it was a full year, so that was extremely beneficial to me as well, because I'm very much I listen to a lot of satellite radio. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions or any other concerns that you may have if you're looking at getting one and you want any more information, or any other things that you would want to experience inside the first year with driving a Gladiator, just leave them in the comments below. I usually get to all of the comments. I don't have a whole bunch of comments, so I'm able to get through them. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. We'll try to do more Jeep related videos moving forward. They seem to get some pretty decent traction. If I add any additional accessories or alterations, I'll also put them up. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching.